Did you just get in today?
Yes, sir. Just got in this morning around like 11.
What have you guys done today?
Mostly physical testing, medical, all that stuff.
Did you meet Robert Saleh?
No, I haven't met him yet.
How exciting to just be here, knowing that you're, in the camp here with the 49ers, is what you're looking forward to. Anybody you spoke to today?
I talked to Malik. He introduced himself in person, but I'm excited to be here. This is my dream. This is what I've been praying for. This is what I've been working for. And to be here is very exciting for me because this was my dad's team. So I grew up in this atmosphere. Didn't get a game, so my first game in the NFL going to be me playing. So that's always a good experience.
You just said it was your dad's favorite team?
Yes, sir.
Did he have favorite players, and do you remember watching the games?
No, not any favorite players that I know of, but the game I always remember is just the Super Bowl against the Ravens. That's just like when I started really becoming a fan as I got older.
Curious to know if there have been any full circle conversations between you and your family knowing that your dad played here.
No, not that. None full circle. But just blessed to be here. Blessed for the opportunity.
Did he school you up at all on any defensive backs in 49er history that you need to know?
Nah. This is the first for my family, so he can't really tell me nothing. He's always experiencing just like me.
I think it was on the draft call that Kyle said he would send your dad some. Have you gotten the care package yet?
I haven't got the care package, but I know he's going to be excited waiting for it.
Marques, do you feel like your experience playing corner helps you at all?
Definitely. I feel it helps me in my man technique. Being on that island just helps you in that slot when you come down and roll down to play man.
Anybody you're looking forward to picking their brain a little bit more outside of, you said you spoke with Malik, but any other guys on the defensive side, offensive side that you're looking to ask a lot of questions?
Definitely Fred Warner. I want to get his tips on how he gets the ball out, make guys fumble. So I definitely want tips on that. And Lenore, the corner, definitely want to get to know him, pick his brain just because I know he's a great man player, a great ball player. So I definitely want to pick his brain.
Who was your team growing up if your dad was a Niner fan?
I mostly follow players. So anytime my players wasn't doing good, I always like my 49ers is doing good. So let me go with them.
That's a diplomatic answer.
Were there any safeties growing up that were your favorite?
Yeah, Cam Chancellor, even though it's coincidence that I go here. But I look up to Brian Branch. I feel me and him are similar type of guys. That's who I kind of study a lot, and that's mostly them too.
Anything else?
One more. Robert Saleh, you said you haven't talked to him much, but anything you're hoping to learn from him, given his pedigree as a defensive coordinator here, and then his coaching, of course, history just in the NFL altogether?
Just how he uses guys. I'll say he definitely has the experience. Just to pick his brain with that, just to learn my knowledge of the game and expand it.
How much have you been able to look at what Malik Mustafa did last year as a rookie, and has that been able to inspire you, motivate you that you could come in and do similar things?
Definitely, especially as I watch tape, getting to learn the playbook. Definitely seeing him out there just like he was a rookie, so it just shows that they'll give a rookie a chance if you put the work in. So definitely looking into that.
Did you just get in today?
Yes, ma'am. Just flew in from Houston.
All right. Have you been to California much?
Nah, just my 30 visit. That was really my first time being out here for real.
Last time we talked to you, you were pretty excited. I was last night. Now that you've gotten here, have you settled in to being a Niner, and what have you seen since being here?
Honestly, it still hasn't really hit me yet because my mind's just so busy on getting to work and just trying to figure out everything I got to do to help the team. So I haven't really just sat back and just thought about it, but I'm just happy to be here, just blessed to be here and ready to get to work with all the other vets around me.
Have you met any of the other cornerbacks on the team yet?
No, I reached out to a couple people after the draft and we had good conversations. Other than that, but nah, I haven't met anybody yet except Mustafa today. He was in there.
Where does your style come from? You seem like you've got kind of a seek and destroy mentality.
Really just being young, just always having that chip on my shoulder, be always hearing somebody tell me what I couldn't do. So me just having that chip on my shoulder since I was young really just kind of helped me keep prevailing to where I'm at right now. And I just always got to keep it. There's ain't no point in me taking that chip off my shoulder now.
Did any particular coaches at Western Kentucky really help mold your journey to where it is today?
I'd say probably Coach V, Coach Vaughn, and Coach Key. Like those coaches really like right when I stepped foot on campus, they really poured into me and made sure I could be the best man and best football player every day I stepped into the facility and really instilled that pro mindset into me right when I got in campus in Bowling Green.
How come you stayed there? I mean, Michigan was throwing you NIL money.
Yeah.
You decided to stay at Western Kentucky. Why?
Just cause like just my morals and my values. Like my people always told me like if you're moving for the money, you're not moving for the right thing. So just realizing, just being where my feet was and just trusting God's playing with my life and just having fun with it. Honestly, not really just thinking about all the if, ands, or buts or the money's good. Just having fun where I'm at and just trusting the God's plan for my future.
Did you have any interaction with Harbaugh?
Yeah,
That process?
yeah, yes sir, yes sir.
Intense guy.
Yeah, it was cool. It was laid back, but it was cool. It was a good meeting during that time.
Malik Mustafa and Renardo Green were rookies last year. They grabbed starting spots.
Yeah.
How encouraging is that to you?
I mean, it's very encouraging just seeing them come in and play. So I just know like I just got to come in and take care of business and just figure out like what I can do every day and just come in with a pro mentality every day and not expect things to be handed to me. Just go in there and try to take it every day.
Did you take some time to look at some 49ers film and kind of acclimate yourself to how they play?
Yeah. Especially as far as like the nickel position, the amount of plays they put inside the nickel and how versatile the nickel could be. So yeah, I've been looking into it a lot, especially watching Two's film from last year.
Yeah. Have you met Diameter yet?
Not yet. I just shot it up on Instagram with him, but I haven't really just met him yet. So it's gonna be exciting to see all them boys.
Did you have 21 reps of the bench?
Yes sir.
How did you rank in the Western Kentucky weight room?
Uh,
Were you up there with?
Yeah, like as far as like DB wise, I never lifted with the DBs. I was always lifting with like the linemen and things like that. So I feel like they kind of kept me going and kept that strength on me during the season throughout all that.
Was that always something that you excelled at? I mean, were you always kind of the strongest?
I'd say yeah, because I wasn't always the biggest person, so I was like, if I'm not gonna be the biggest, I'm for sure got to be at least one of the strongest. I don't want to just be small and small. So it's like some gotta give.
Has anybody ever commented on that during a game, like a tight end or a wideout, that you packed more than they were expecting?
Yeah, I mean, I hear that, like, as far as, like, during, like, the Saturdays games and things, I always was hearing that, like, they really ain't expect that or they ain't expect the type of punch that I gave them. So, it's like, I just feel like that's just the truth to, like, the amount of work that we put in the weight room and things like that.
That's got to be really important at the nickel position, right?
Mhm.
Because you're almost playing linebacker
Yeah,
in a lot of ways against the run. So was that a big kind of motivation?
For sure, just because, like, basically what you saying, I'm kind of like another linebacker, so like you don't want to be in the box too small. So like when I figured I was moving to the nickel last season, like our coach really put an emphasis on putting more weight on and getting more in the weight room and just starting to lift with different groups and things like that. So just so I can get like a feeling and just see like kind of what their mindset was and things like that.
Upton, is there a player that you'd like to hit or cover that you thought about?
Nah, I'm just ready to get to work with everybody. I'm ready to just see what all the receivers is and everybody around here is great. So like I just can't wait to line up against everybody and just see where my talent could take me.
It was a pretty cool phone call on draft night.
Yes, sir.
You were fired up. Talk to us about that moment, what that was like for you.
Because when I came here for my 30 visit, like just the vibes from the coaches and the culture around here, it was just different. So I told Coach, I was like, I don't know how you can do it, but just bring me back here. Like, this is a place I wanted to be. So when draft night came and he told me it was John Lynch, I was ecstatic. I was turned up. I was just like, yeah, let's do it. Like, this is the only place I want to be. I'm turned right now.
Were you able to
Do a couple more.
Were you able to trademark "Let's do it"?
Nah. That's really not. It was just something that I just said during that time. It wasn't like a saying or a phrase. It was just I was just turned up. I'm just ready just to get to work. And then probably in the future after I handle a couple of things, maybe that can be in the play.
Any type of first year knowledge that Malik Mustafa actually shared with you, being that he's just now coming out of his rookie year, that you can kind of use and utilize headed into the off-season workouts and the season?
Not yet, because I honestly just got his number probably an hour ago. So I'm gonna try to pick his brain as much as I can before our first practice tomorrow. So I'm gonna get into that later today.
When did you first start thinking about the NFL as a possibility growing up, and has it hit you yet that you're actually here now?
I mean, I always thought about it since I was young, but like not being at like one of the Power 5 places, it always seems so far in sight. But standing here now, it's a blessing from God, but it still don't feel real because like my mind's not thinking about okay, you did it, like it's time to celebrate. It's just okay, what's the next step? Now it's time to get to work. Now it's time to go earn a position. Now it's time to show them like why are you in the building and things like that.
Last one.
How much work goes into playing nickel when you don't have the sideline to help you and covering guys that can break any
I feel like a lot of work, a lot of it is just film study and things like that. But I feel like that's the best part about the nickel because it's like you the most versatile player in the field. The receiver guys, any direction he can go. Then you got an extra hat in the run fit. So I just feel like you always got to be on your P's and Q's. You always got to be on your A game. But I feel like that's the best part about the nickel position.
All right, so explain the shoes first.
I got a bunch of slippers. I got like 20 different pairs, all types of animals. So, yeah, some I started doing like last year, but yeah, I like them. I just started. People, yeah, they're comfortable, and I like animals, so you know.
So you know your teammate George Kittle has a thing about shoes. Do you expect him to say something about your slippers or not so much?
I ain't know that, so I mean, we got to link up, you know. But yeah, I guess that's cool though. I ain't know that.
Yeah, not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Pay attention to people's shoes.
Yeah, that's dope.
How's it been since you got here, got to settle in, got to get some workout in today? How was that?
It's been dope. It's just surreal being here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just excited to get to work. I met Fred as soon as I got here, so that was cool. And being there, a lot of new people, a lot of names. So I'm just taking it in and learning and excited to get started. So.
Did you and Fred have some time to talk?
Huh?
Same question.
Same question. Did you and Fred have some time to talk?
Yeah. Like it was brief. Like we was about to go start the whole little onboarding thing. So he just said, "Talk to you later." All that good stuff. Good meeting you, and glad to be part of the team. So, man, I'm just glad to be here. And but yeah, it was a brief little combo, but nothing major. So.
You had the knee injury last year. What did you do for the team after you had that injury? Somebody said that you were like a coach out there.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Just trying to figure out how I can give back, even though I can't do it physically. How can I be there for the guys? You know, and that was something I really focused on. But I grew in that a lot. Became more of a vocal leader as well. And yeah, I'm 100% feeling healthy now. So I'm excited to get ready to go. You know what I mean?
You're still, I think, about three months away from being able to.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you got a little pent up frustration.
Yeah. When I put on that helmet, I just left the equipment room. I put on that helmet, I was like, got a little chills. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to go, but, you know, in due time, so, yeah.
On draft night, you said Fred and Dre Greenlaw were a dynamic duo. What was it about their game that you enjoyed watching?
I would say just their motor, you know, and they will to get after it, you know, and just how they play the game, you know. They always looking to punish the guy with the ball, you know, and I appreciate that about their game and just how they played together. It was real cool to see.
What about your game is similar to what they do?
I would say the way it's played, you know, you play the game with that reckless abandonment, with that controlled aggression, you know what I'm saying, and you play for the guy next to you, and I think that was all over the field the way they played. So I could definitely see some correlation between that, but yeah.
Have you seen film of Robert Saleh when he's coaching a game and he gets hyped up?
Yeah, I've seen a little bit. I think I seen one highlight. I forgot what happened, but like they was jumping up in the air. It was like that energy was on the sideline. And that's like something people gravitate to. I'm definitely used to that. So, but like I like that a lot.
What conversations have you had with him so far?
I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm assuming it's gonna be very soon now. But yeah, I've heard nothing but great things about him. Really just great things about the whole organization. I'm glad to be a part of it and be a part of the defense and the culture that they got here, and I'm excited. So.
Has Johnny Holland given you any indication of what type of role you'll be doing or how you're going to kind of assimilate into the scheme?
Yeah, it's just to give me opportunity. They drafted me, you know. They expect me to come in and play and earn a spot just like anybody else. So I'm just happy for the opportunity. And ready to get to work.
When you got drafted by these guys, did you kind of, I guess as a linebacker, do you peek ahead to see what teams you might be playing, what running backs you're going to be tackling, or what quarterbacks might be targeting you?
Yeah, I seen the schedule, so like it's just cool to be able to play against other NFL teams. You know what I'm saying? Teams that you grew up watching. You know what I'm saying? It's cool to be a part of that now. But I'm not really paying too much attention about who I'm going against right now, but I'm definitely watching film. I'm definitely studying the playbook and learning my scheme and what I need to do in everybody else's job, and really just taking it one step at a time and understanding that everything else is going to come when it's time.
Nick, I want to preface my question by saying I'm a very big fan of your footwear.
Appreciate it.
Sporting those, like on your first day, at the NFL facility, it suggests you're very comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah.
Some guys would be like, I think I'm gonna go sneakers and then maybe introduce
Yeah.
cards later.
Yeah.
But is that true?
Yeah, I mean, like I've always,
With who you
yeah,
are?
I'm pretty comfortable with who I am, and I've always worn them. So I don't know why I would change them. You know what I mean? Change. It got me here. You know what I'm saying? The Sharks got me here. The puppies got me here. But it is what it is, and you know, I enjoy it. You know, I enjoy expressing myself through fashion. I got my own brand, so I love like the fashion, like the whole aspect in the artistic world. But that's time for another day. But yeah, I'm just gonna be myself always, regardless. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Are
Couple
the Sharks
questions.
your favorite?
Yeah, these my favorite.
Yeah.
I used to the Big 12 Media Day. I wore the Wolves, and those was like the runners, like the head runners for a while. Then I got some Sharks, so the Sharks might be the, you know what I'm saying, the number ones right now.
Couple
Yeah.
questions, being that many of the rookies got here today. Have you guys at least crossed paths and been able to kind of chop it up with each other? If so, what have those conversations been like?
Yeah, it's been cool. We actually we shuttled here. We all like kind of like landed at the same time, and then some other guys came in. But like it's been real like super like easy just to talk to everybody, and everybody's kind of cool with everybody. I can tell it's gonna be a easy group to be around, and guys are gonna be close. So, but yeah, those interactions have been real genuine and real cool. Yeah.
And then my second for you, Robert Saleh and Fred Warner. I think I asked you this on draft night, but then Robert Saleh kind of doubled down today, saying that the grittiness and the wanting to kind of prove yourselves as a rookie, knowing that you guys could possibly see quite a bit of time out there on the field this year.
Yeah.
How much of that are you kind of relying on internally to kind of push you, to help you separate yourself through training camp and on into the season?
Yeah, I mean, since like I got to high school, people been saying I was too small. You know what I'm saying? And so that chip has already been there. That hunger has always been there. So like it's just the will to want to prove everybody else doubting me wrong and people that's believing in me right. You know, I feel like that's never gonna fade away. And it's one of those things where I'm understanding that God put me here for a reason, and that God blessed me with the ability to play this sport at a high level. So why would I disrespect Him and not give my all? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's just my mindset.
How much of your
Do two more.
mindset, your personality comes from having 3 older brothers?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of 4 boys, so it was one of those things where we was always fighting, you know, always getting the short end of the stick. You know, I remember my mama, she couldn't stop us from fighting, so she got us gloves, and we started having like boxing tournaments around the neighborhood. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's just one of the things that was just ingrained in me, my mentality at a young age, and it's kind of a part of me now. So.
How do you stack up in terms of size with your older brothers?
One of them is 6'5", I know, right?
Yeah.
And then the oldest is like 5'10", and then the other one is like 5'10". So I'm right there.
Yeah.
But it's cool. But I mean, I ain't get the 6'5" gene, but you know, I got everything else. So yeah.
How'd you do in the boxing?
Do last one.
I won a lot. I lost a lot in the beginning because I was fighting people that was like 5 years older than me. You know what I mean? But like I felt like that kind of made me grow. You know what I'm saying? And just my mind and how to approach battles. You know what I'm saying? On and off the field, and then I started winning. You know what I'm saying? Started getting that confidence because I was probably like 7 at one point. But yeah, it was cool. It was dope.
All right. Thanks, Nick.
Have you met any of you guys in the locker room yet?
Yeah, I met some of the guys. It seemed like a real cool group, you know. And I talked to Mikhail and Alfred Collins, and I feel like we're gonna be a real tight group. We're gonna, you know, get to work together, and try to, you know, be the best we can be.
How are you feeling after today and all the workouts? Is it settling in that you're a Niner now?
Yeah, it's finally kind of becoming real. I'm, you know, walking around in the stadium, walking in, you know, the facilities and stuff, and I was like, man, like I'm really here now. So, you know, I'm gonna just make the most of my opportunities here. You know, do the best I can, just put my head down and work.
You might be ending up playing right next to Alfred
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time in San Francisco. Have you kind of thought about that and how you complement each other and how you might be able to work?
Yeah, I'm sure that the coaching staff is going to get us right. They're going to do everything possibly can so we can, you know, work together as a group, as a unit, you know, one heartbeat. And we're just going to, you know, go through that during the training camp and through all our practices and just kind of build the best bond we can so that we can trust each other when the time comes.
What was your first impression of
Oh, he's a cool guy. He seems really chill. You know, I met him getting off the plane and, you know, in the airport. I was like, oh, you know, that's my new teammate now.
You recognize him right away?
Yeah, I recognize him right away. It's kind of hard to miss him. He's huge. You know what I'm saying? Well, I recognize him right away, and I'm like, you know, that's my new teammate. So I got to, you know, make a bond and just do everything I can so that we can so that we can succeed.
What do you think of Nick Martin and his slippers?
So he was another one of the players I met coming out of the airport, and I'm like, who is this guy in his giant shark slippers? But you can tell he's a guy of character. He's gonna have a lot of character, and I'm excited to, you know, play in front of him and just, you know, continue to build that bond and get to know each other.
Do you think you want a pair of those slippers? Like if he can gift you some?
That's gonna be his thing. I'll let that be his swag. I'll rock my own thing. But no, they're fire. They're fire.
What was your reaction when I was drafted Curtis Rourke, and what's it mean for you for him to be here?
Yeah, man. I love Kurt. That's my guy. You know, I played against him when I was back at Kent State. We and him go way back when he was at Ohio. We played against each other every year, and I kind of know the type of guy he is. He's a leader. He's a guy of character. He leads by action, and he does what he needs to do. And he doesn't let the outside noise distract him. And I love it, bro. And kind of seeing him getting drafted to the same team as me, I was like, man, like things are really coming true, and I get to play with my teammate again. And he's a leader. Like you'll get around him, you'll see he's just a guy who just does everything right.
So many football players have NFL dreams, but most of them don't make it.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you realize like this was a possibility and could have been in college or high school? I don't know.
Yeah, I always really believed that, you know, I can do anything I put my mind to. So I just really worked. I didn't look at, you know, draft stock and none of that. I just worked as hard as possible and just kind of let, you know, things take me. I let my work show and kind of prove to where I should be and where I belong. So I didn't really pay too much attention. I just kind of worked and just let all that come to show when it needed to.
How familiar are you with Chris Kaceric's coaching style?
Pretty familiar. I got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and it reminds me of some of my old coaches that I dealt with in college, and it's very similar. I love the aggressive coaching style. I love the passion that he gives. Talking to him on the phone, I could just hear the passion in his voice. So I'm so excited to get to learn from him and just, you know, learn everything that I possibly can and be the best player I can be here.
Anybody you're specifically looking forward to kind of picking their brain, whether it be a rookie that you're getting to know or a vet that you're about to start playing?
For sure. One of the guys I'm playing next is Nick Bosa. Somebody I looked up to kind of growing up watching ball, you know, watching defensive line play. And now it's becoming real like, hey, this is my teammate. I'm going to be playing next to him. So definitely one of the guys I pick his brain. And one of the offensive linemen, Trent Williams as well. You know, he's a vet. He's done it. He's vetted. He's done this for a long time in this league. And just kind of picking his mind on what he did to kind of stay in this position and just continue to be successful no matter, you know, how old he's gotten.
Javon Hargrave was here last year, and you know, he was known for his quick first step.
Mm-hmm.
The guards and the centers always talked about how quickly he was on top of them. Is that your forte as well? And,
Yeah.
and is that something that you worked on, and how did you get good at being quick off?
Yeah, I got a really quick first step, but I feel like my game is how violent I am when I play. I play with a lot of violence. I want to just abuse the offensive lineman as much as I can and just wear him down throughout the game. But I play really quick, too. I got a quick first step. I can move laterally really quick as well. But my violence is really what really shows out on film and what kind of separates me from everybody else.
CJ, a lot of rookies say it wasn't until like the draft process that they realized, oh, I've got short arms, you know, and those, you know, I guess supposedly you play defensive tackle with short arms. Were you ever aware of that?
Yeah, like you said, the draft process kind of, everybody's like, oh, he got short arms. I'm like, I never saw that on my film. I didn't know that, you know, it mattered that much. I feel like I was a violent player regardless of how long my arms were. I was getting under people and using my leverage to my advantage, but I never realized that my arms were short watching my film, so I didn't think it really mattered that much.
Nick also talked about the fact that they flew you guys in at around the same time, so you all got to take a shuttle ride together. I wasn't aware that they did that, but was that a kind of a special moment to be in the shuttle with all the NFL dreams starting?
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, you know, we kind of came down the escalator and saw each other. We all came from different areas. It was like, hey, that's my teammate. I recognize, you know, we seen each other on social media. We talked a little bit. I was like, yeah, it's really coming to, you know, a dream come true where all these guys who really wished for this a long time of their career, and they're finally being able to, you know, achieve their dreams and, you know, chase their goals even more. So it's awesome.
I saw your post from the plane. Did they fly you all first class?
I'm not sure. I have no idea, but it was a great plane ride. It was an easy ride for sure.
Familiar with Robert Saleh, and are you excited to kind of play under him as a defensive coordinator? Anything you're specifically wanting to like maybe get to know about what he wants?
Yeah, historically you see that he usually has a great defense, and I'm just excited to be able to be a part of that and just learn everything from him, what I need to do, become a more violent player, a more faster player. And once again, just become successful in this league and kind of sustain my success throughout the time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much.
What number are you going to be wearing?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. So we'll find that out soon.
He hasn't stopped by just yet.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Being here in your new.
Man, it's just exciting, to finally fulfill my dreams. I'm not done yet. I want to be great, but it's just a blessing to be here.
Have you met any of the veterans yet that you'll be working with?
I met Fred. Fred Warner was crazy. He's so cool, but I'm looking forward to meeting everybody else.
What about CJ West, who might be lining up next to you for
Yeah.
the foreseeable future? What are your first impressions of him?
He looks like he's ready to work. He's ready to be, one of the greats. So, can't wait to, get to work with him.
Have you thought about you and him being a tandem?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's gonna take work, he looks like I'm gonna work. I know he looks like he's gonna work. So, I'm excited to see where he goes.
He said he recognized you in the airport. Did you know who he was?
Yeah. Yeah. He stands out too. Like, what? Yeah, he's not no regular size.
Which NFL defensive tackles have you watched most, or maybe even modeled some of your game after?
I really like Calais Campbell. He's just some of my size, tall, can do it all. So I want my game to be versatile. So I look at him as a.
So is the height a particular point of emphasis, though, just because I'm sure you have different strength and maybe different challenges playing inside?
I just like how he plays everywhere on the field, and how he attacks his work that's required for him to be great. So yeah.
Since the time you've been drafted, has anything caught you by surprise?
No.
No. Everything you've been as expected.
Pretty much, yeah. It's new, so I'm taking this day by day, not looking in the past, not looking in the future, and being where my feet are.
Alfred, what do you think the biggest jump is you're going to have to make in your game to not only make the team but be contributing?
Just practice habits. Practice my ass off because it's going to translate in the game on Sunday. So, that's what I have to do if I want to contribute and play.
Where do you want to evolve as a pass rusher? You've obviously got a lot of strength in your hands, and you have that spin move. Where do you sort of see your pass rush?
Being more, I say just being more, using my tools. I'm powerful, so more power before trying to be finessey. Time and place for that, but for sure use my power more.
When they do the onboard process here for rookies, I'm sure you meet the coaches, position coaches. Do they also introduce you guys like the strength coach, diet nutritionist, tell you we're going to put you on a plan here and there? Have they not given you those individualized plans?
Yeah. You go to talk to everybody and they give you what they give you. So, but yeah, it's a process. Yeah.
When you were drafted, Matthew McConaughey tweeted sweats early, sweats late. What does that mean?
I don't know. I sweat. You can see right now. I sweat. It don't matter. I could walk to the gas station, I'll be sweaty, but I don't know.
Yeah. Probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Sure, you've gotten a lot of advice at different stages, pre-draft, when you were drafted. Does anyone in particular stand out in terms of some of the 2 cents they gave you?
I would have to say Panthers head coach said give grace to, you want it to be perfect, you want everything to go where you want it to go, but it's not. Nobody's perfect, so just giving yourself grace to, fail, but get back up and keep fighting, so yeah.
Nick Bosa often works with Trent Williams, left tackle, just to kind of get more tips of the trade and whatnot. Have you done that? Have you talked to your offensive lineman that you've worked with just to kind of sharpen your skills?
I have not, honestly, not yet. No, man.
Is that something you might look forward to?
Oh, for sure,
talking to
yeah.
Trent Williams?
Oh, yes. He's the best.
Are you fully cleared for this weekend?
I'm going to be all right, yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most about today and the next few weeks?
Just being a great teammate, because these guys are, as hungry as I am. So, just being there for them and, making sure I'm the best version of myself for them. So that's what I'm excited for.
Did you watch much of the 49ers last year at all, or have you watched it since you've been drafted?
A little bit. I don't really watch too much NFL, but, this is one of the teams I did watch, especially Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, being on the same team in the same building with them is kind of crazy. But, yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alfred.
Thanks, Alfred.
How's it going, guys? Good.
Have you heard from George Kittle yet? He's pretty excited.
He did reach out to me after the draft, but I haven't seen him since I got down here yet, no.
You know where they're gonna line you up, in this minicamp, left guard, right guard?
No, I have no clue. It's all up to, where the coaches think.
Is right guard where, that's where you had your most experience, right?
Yeah, that's where I played a majority of my games in college, but I also played left guard and right tackle in college too.
What were your conversations with Chris Forster like during the draft process?
I didn't really have much contact with him during the draft process, so just enjoy getting out here, experiencing everything. Yeah, a time or two.
Have you been able to kind of look at the 49ers zone blocking and how that compares to what you did at Iowa?
Yeah, there's a lot of parallels, but there's still a lot of stuff, I need to get better on in order to provide value to this team in whatever way I can.
Have you started to kind of study up, and if so, is there a guy that you've been watching?
I've just been mostly just reviewing the playbook, kind of seeing the parallels between mine at Iowa and the 49ers playbook, and just kind of relating words, to what I know them as, and just trying to transfer over that language.
Any other players that you're familiar with that are on the team or coming in with you as well?
No, I didn't really know anyone coming in, but yeah, it's exciting getting to know everyone.
Give us just an example of what life is like at Iowa in terms of how everybody views George Kittle's legacy there and how he succeeded in the NFL.
Yeah, Coach Ferentz always talks about, successful stories like his, just a later round draft pick, and to turn it into what he is now. And there's a lot of guys in Iowa's history that have done that.
Anything else, guys?
Is that a shark tattoo?
No, it's my marlin I caught in Mexico.
Did you see Nick Martin's shoes yesterday?
No, I did not.
Okay. He had shark shoes.
Oh, okay.
How big was the marlin you got?
How big?
Yeah.
It was probably about my height, because obviously we brought it back, so I hung up next to me, took a picture with it. But yeah.
How many pounds?
I don't know, but there's a lot of meat on it. Yeah.
You guys good?
Yep.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Isaiah, what's been the whole process like so far?
It's been a lot, but just taking it one at a time, and just trying to stay in the moment and get to work.
I'm sure you had a lot of options after the draft. What swung it for the 49ers?
What was the reason why?
Yeah, did you have a lot of teams vying?
Yeah, I had a lot of teams, but I just talked with my agent and we tried to look for the best spot, and this seemed to be a great fit. I've known some of the coaches here, and it just seemed to be a great fit.
You seem to have the physique to be a really good downfield blocker. Is that something that you did a lot in college, and has that been emphasized to you here?
Definitely, with my size, physicality, definitely use that to my advantage, and that's something I've done throughout my career, and something that I'll continue doing.
What coaches did you know here from here?
Andrew Hayes Stoker, he actually recruited me when he was at Illinois back when I was in high school, so we go way back.
What did he say to you? What kind of advice did he have to you going through this process?
He's known my story. He's watched me from high school all the way up until this point. So, he was like, yeah, you come here and work hard, and, it's plenty of opportunity. So, yeah.
Junior just mentioned that he's met a couple of the veterans, including Christian McCaffrey, that got him a little starstruck. Have you met anybody yet that made you feel that way?
No, I haven't met any of the vets yet, but, in the next couple of days, hopefully I'll get that opportunity, and, we'll see.
49ers have done a pretty good job at undrafted free agents getting a chance to work their way up and really earn solid contracts in their second round. Is that something that kind of inspires you coming here?
Definitely. I've seen some guys. Brock Purdy, who was a last pick, and then you got guys like Charvarius Ward, who was undrafted. And, they do a pretty good job of getting those guys, like you said, to the second contract. So my goal is just to work as hard as I can, and hopefully I get to that point in my career.
There have only been a handful of guys, wide receivers, who weigh as much as you do that ran a 4.4 or better. DK Metcalf is one of them. Do you kind of compare yourself to anybody? Who are you like, receiver-wise?
That I compare myself to? I'd say I like Dez Bryant. I grew up a Cowboys fan, so I watched a lot of Dez Bryant. The way he plays, I try to match that, and yeah, that's kind of somebody I looked up to growing up.
You ready to put that Cowboys preference to the side now?
Oh, yeah. It's time to get to work now. So we here now, and, it's 49ers right now, so.
Junior, what was your first conversation with Brant Boyer about what you might be doing here?
Yeah, he talked to me about doing a little bit of everything, just coming in, working my tail off, and earn a spot on this team.
Had you met Brant before via his son?
No, I hadn't met him before, but I had played with his son, obviously, for a couple years. So I knew he was a special teams coordinator in the league. I knew he was with the Jets, and I was pretty thrilled when he wanted to get to meet me and come work me out.
What was the moment like for you when you heard your name called?
Yeah, surreal moment. Had a lot of friends and family there, kind of just supporting, hanging out. We didn't know how it was going to go. You never know with that stuff. So we were all kind of anxious, and we saw the Niners coming up on the clock, and we knew we had a chance, and we're just all grateful for the opportunity.
At that point in the draft, are teams already calling about undrafted free agents?
Yes.
What was that
Yeah.
process kind of like?
My agent talked earlier that day, and we kind of knew where I was going to go for the most part if I did go undrafted. So thankfully I didn't, and where I want to be.
Was this a place that you had considered if you didn't get drafted?
Yeah, for sure.
What's your dream scenario for a career? I mean, coming in here, people say, you can become a punt returner, but what's your, long-term?
Yeah, I want to be in the Hall of Fame. That's been my goal since I was a kid, no matter where that's at on the field. My dad, when we were working out when I was younger, was always talking about gold jacket. So that's what I'm going to work to and try to get there.
How do you profile? I mean, everyone understands like you're being brought in as a punt returner, but how do you profile as a receiver? What would you say are your greatest skills?
Right. Do a little bit of everything. Block, catch, run decent routes. So I think I do a little bit of everything, and just ready to contribute in any way I can.
Who would you say you model your game after as a receiver and as a returner?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I model my game after anyone, but I watch a lot of Amon-Ra St. Brown. Kind of similar builds-ish. He's a little bigger than me, but I just like the way he manipulates the defense and gets open and makes tough catches.
Is it still all kind of hitting you now? Like, I heard you guys kind of met each other at the airport yesterday.
Yeah. It's still kind of sinking in. Putting on the helmet for the first time was pretty surreal again, but it's just still sinking in.
Have you met any of the veterans?
I met Ricky yesterday, and then CMC walked through the locker room and said what's up to us today. So
There's another Montana player here for the rookie minicamp. What's your scouting report on him?
yeah, Nick's a tough kid. He's been through a lot in his career, and he just continues to work his tail off, and that's why he's here. He runs hard, plays smart, and gives it all for his team.
Did he do any fullback for you guys up there?
He didn't play a ton of fullback for us, maybe like in our heavy packages, but I think he did his pro day fullback. So versatile kid, can do a little bit of everything too.
You mentioned it's surreal. Is anything taking you by surprise since the moment you're drafted to now?
Just meeting like Ricky and CMC, like guys you see on TV, and CMC especially a guy you watched for a while back when he was in college and with the Panthers. Just running into him was pretty like, whoa, like a little starstruck there.
Yeah, you're here kind of thing.
Yeah.
There's a quarterback here who was a 7th-round draft pick like yourself. Do you draw inspiration knowing that just once your foot's in the door, you can do what you want?
There's been plenty of guys in the league who've kind of created their own niche, and the guy's now a starting quarterback for us, so it's possible for anybody.